Talking all that bullshit. I'ma put it to you like this, yo.
This is for the nerds, this is for the brainiacs, this what we deserve. Go ahead and play it back, you ain't gonna touch me, you not gonna do nothing, you are not above me, I bet you wish you was me, I know it, I know.
What is poppin', everybody? And welcome back to another special episode of the Only Friends podcast. Well, you know, it's me and my only friends, which includes, but is not limited to, Guapito.
Wow.
What is poppin'?
Just listening to people go over Sims and realizing more every day that poker is very, very difficult.
Yeah.
Oh.
But if you know The Sims, it's not difficult.
But you're always right, though, so
No one
it doesn't
knows
matter.
The Sims.
Yes, this is true.
Landon knows The Sims.
No, The Sims are a lie.
I don't
You're
know
a
shit,
lie.
bro. The more I play this game, the more I realize I know absolutely nothing, and I'm cool with that.
Nah. But as long as you know...
I like Conrad's shirt, though.
You know absolutely
Perfect.
nothing plus one, then you're just so much better. than
Who's the
everyone
guy that said, I know nothing?
I know.
You know
I
nothing,
Conrad
Jon Snow?
Simpson.
Conrad Simpson.
I was a
and
philosopher.
thriving.
I just can't think of who it was.
Yeah, Conrad, the philosopher.
Conrad the philosopher.
Sounds like a Voltaire quote.
Basically a modern day Aristotle.
It's true.
Conrad.
Mm-hmm.
You know how to ball. I know Aristotle. that's a Taylor Swift
No,
line.
we knew it. I knew it was coming.
I'm shocked. I for one,
I didn't know you were
It's so
going here
good, though.
today.
It's so good, right?
no, it's
Kelsey?
not. It's never good to reference a
So
song that
good.
no one else is gonna know.
I
I'm
bet
okay
there's
with
somebody
it.
out there that knows.
Yeah, the
one person.
audience.
I'm looking at you. I don't care about you guys. I care about the real Swifties out there.
You know, I had to
My
argue.
people.
You know, Michelle and I had to argue about who is more of a Swiftie, you or her.
It's close. It's close.
And I was dying with you, Brian. I was like, he talks about it on a fucking podcast
Yeah.
in front of 10,000, you know, a couple
Dude,
people.
Michelle's out in Disneyland with Nicolas Cage right now.
Oh, yeah?
She sends me a picture. She's like, "Yeah, I'm on the carousel with Nicolas Cage."
Living her best life.
What?
She went to Disneyland with the fries and yeah, and she just sends me this picture. She's like, "Nicolas Cage is here. We're on the carousel together." And just snapped a picture of him with his kids.
Okay. Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Plato, by the way. It was Plato.
Oh, Plato. Yeah.
Plato.
Oh, it's always Plato.
Mm.
Plato.
Plato,
or
Socrates.
Yeah. Yeah.
Marcus Aurelius.
That's
Oh,
all.
speaking of the Gladiator.
Those are all the
Wow.
stoicism ones.
Yeah.
We're really on target today. Gladiator starts
Gladiator
today.
starts today. Let's get in there.
Seneca.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, I
What
love
time? What time are you gonna be there, Lamana?
it. As soon as this pod ends.
Wow. Are you
following
pre-regged?
Huh?
Are you pre-regged?
I will be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What do you think the lines are gonna be like today?
I don't listen. I got to tell you, man. I got to give kudos to the WSOP so far. I mean, there's been some big fields. There hasn't been many lines. There hasn't been weights to sit down. We're playing 9-handed. I played yesterday to start the 800 deep stack in the new room that they had. It's like upstairs, like by the horseshoe poker room. You go up the escalators. It's called the Provence. I don't know what it's called, something like that. But it's a whole nother room with a whole bunch of tables, and so it's great that they're like, you know, we have so much more room, and I think that's why we're able to play 9-handed.
So
and
I-
It's
have
where
less
all the
lines.
deep stacks and stuff are.
Yeah,
all the
it's-
dailies are up there.
All the satellites and stuff. But I was, I heard there were some problems yesterday. I was heading down there to go register the 800, and I got told that the whole Bravo thing was down, and the lines were dumb.
Really?
Yeah.
Landon struggled with the 800 deep stack getting in.
Yeah, it was toxic because Bravo was down. So you had to wait in the line, and everyone that did the preloading thing would get into the line to go to the TBIC people and say, hey, I'm trying to play this tournament. But Bravo was down. So then you had to wait for them to get it all done. So I had to instead of being in for
I feel
two,
like that happens at least once a year.
I had to max it.
It's technology. Sometimes there's not a lot they can do about it. But yeah, when I registered, it was fine. So just get there a little early.
Yeah. I'm going to get there right after this pod. For the
You almost got
300.
wrecked in the 5K for whatever reason.
Almost?
I mean, in the
Almost?
sense of like swiping your card.
Oh, yeah. So this was kind of, I don't want to say annoying. I actually didn't care. It wasn't that big of a deal, but it was a process. So I loaded my TBIC last Saturday, went yesterday rather, did the sign up thing through the Bravo app or website, whatever, on the way there. Get there, we have like 3 minutes till late reg closes. So I swipe in at the kiosk, nothing. Just gives me a message that says like you cannot, or there's no tournament receipts to print.
Oh, you are, yeah.
See a cage or whatever.
There's some. You just have to go to the next one because some of them are out of either.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So I went to another one. Same message. Go to the cage, and they go, "Oh yeah, you haven't been verified yet." It's like, how the fuck did I put $60,000 in my account if I haven't been verified yet?
Yeah.
They just take it, bro, and then they figure it out later.
So now they go through this process of like taking my ID, put it on file. Like this has to already be in the system. This is like my.
I was gonna say it's not the first time you loaded your TBIC.
Something happened because my ID was also not in the file.
Okay.
So something had happened where our IDs got wiped out.
I mean, obviously, because like clearly I had to give them all my identification when I put the money on. I was giving them fucking
Nah,
Aria
you didn't
chips.
have to do that. You just had to say whatever name you wanted.
Hey, here's some Aria chips. Just toss them in an account. I don't care. Just let me know which one.
Right.
But this ended up being like a 25-minute process.
That's painful.
So, because for whatever reason, like they took my ID, they put it in the system, they tried to print out the receipt, everything just like crashed. They had to restart the computer. Took my ID again, put it in the system, went to print it out, said fuck off, and then did it a third time, and finally it came through. So I didn't get in until halfway through the late reg level.
Yeah, I'm sure. Nothing changes with you.
I mean, you know, I'm not complaining. Like whether I have 18 big blinds for an hour or for a half hour, it's like still pretty good EV. And I think they cashed maybe around level 5 yesterday, level 4 maybe, something like that. So I'm getting in level 2. We're basically like 2 hours, 3 hours away from the money. It's
So that was level
good
14,
spot.
right?
Something like that, yeah.
I think
They
so.
played 12 yesterday.
10. They played 10 the day before, I think.
Or 10.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it went incredibly well. I get pocket fours the very first hand dealt. So first of all, I get sat next to the Grim Reaper himself, Jeff Platt. Just piles of chips.
Of course.
Can't wait to just like grin ear to, oh, it's good to see you in an MTT, Berkey. I'm like, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't ask me for an interview. Like, you stay on your side, I'll stay on mine. Of course, like very first hand, I somehow drew the cutoff, which was nice. First hand I look at pocket fours, I'm like, God damn it. Please just fold to me. Like, and then I'm like, well, what do I, with 18 bigs, like, is this just a jam? It has to just be a jam. I'm just going to jam. Landon goes,
cutoff for 14?
Yeah.
Button for sure. Cutoff, it's like,
yeah, we all know how to fucking play the button. Every time I have a spot, he's like, well, on the button, you. I fucking know, man. There's only 2 people left. It's not that tough. But, like, we're not on the button.
If you have 5s on the button, you min raise. If you have deuces to 4s, ace deuce stays 4 suited,
Fives,
you go all in.
Okay.
What do you think? You look as the rest of those players in the eye. You think they call off appropriately?
To my left, it was Platt and a good pro. So the big blind definitely calls off appropriately. Platt, I watched him dust through 125.
All right, well then you're basically on the big blind, or you're basically on the button, so just get it in. So you jammed.
Well, it went.
Oh no!
It went. Zachy opened the low jack, and I just looked at it. He had too many chips. I'm like, this motherfucker's too wide. Like, I just know he's too wide. And then a recreational calls, and like uncomfortable calls, like, you know, probably has 5s but not calling it off. So I need it.
No.
I'm all in, baby. Let's go.
This is not Landon approved.
You want to know how many times I was all in?
He's struggling over here, man.
You want to know how many times I was all in before
called
before busting the event?
How many times?
6 times. You want to know how many times I was called?
0.
Once. The time I busted.
Yeah.
I showed down exactly 1 fucking hand.
Yeah.
The entire tournament. Somehow I navigated for like 3 hours, got myself up to 40
bigs. You should have shown
bigs.
down 2 hands.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. I'm definitely in the muck.
Very similar to me, Burke. I did the same. Like, I built my stack up to like 150K off of 40 without showing down a hand. And then I got in 8s versus jacks and didn't win.
Oh yeah.
Brian got
it was correct though.
Brian
I consulted with the.
I saw you post
the young
8s
prince
versus jack for a 50 big blind pot, and I was wondering, I'm like, well, how did that go? I'm guessing like small blind rip versus late position.
No, it was
cutoff open. He jams button.
Yeah.
Okay, same thing.
Right.
He goes, no, it was way different. It's
you
like
said small blind.
Well, you get button
Small
open,
blind versus
small
big
blind
blind?
jam.
I said small blind versus late position open.
Oh, I was
like
I heard
cutoff
small blind. I
open.
stopped.
Like
listening.
no, it was button versus late position.
Sorry,
open.
I heard small blind. I stopped. Well, you started with small blind, so I'm thinking that was the.
No,
you know.
Brian got nit rolled in the 800. Who would have thought?
It wasn't that much. I mean, he hemmed and hawed with jacks for a little bit.
He hemmed and hawed with everything that beats your range that
yeah.
jams.
Jacks with fucking jacks.
Yeah.
God, where did they find these?
I know. I
monsters?
said it should just come like 8 in the window, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
But
like,
it did not.
How does it ever not?
Yeah.
Well, it's not going to happen a lot of the time.
Then the
I'll tell
next
you
hand,
that.
I just ripped my five blinds left with queen 8 suited and
From cut off?
wherever it was that cut off. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Wherever I was.
And I was on the button.
If you're going to do the
So
button,
yeah, I
one
guess
hand
it's
later.
cut off.
It is good.
Yeah, and the button like stuck his like 12 bigs in with queen jack off.
That seems. How many blinds do you have?
Get 5.
5.
That's a little loose.
I
It's
think
so
it's a
funny.
little
Like him and Haw were calling a 25 blind shove with jacks.
This is a different player.
I understand, but like they all represent the field. Right? It's like, come on, the spectrum
there's-
is there, but like, you
There's
know.
varying degrees of how these people play. Let me tell you.
I have to tell you, man,
These people.
my instinct.
What
do you mean?
These
These
people.
people, huh?
My instincts for tournaments are just like simply not there. Like I'm
Neither
just
is anybody else's.
I'm just so uncertain. Like I understand stack off thresholds when we get to post.
You mean like what to do pre when someone
I just don't
opens?
understand pre-flop stack off thresholds.
How
Like,
many
it's just
bigs?
abundantly clear. Like after I get the 4s through, now I have 23 blinds, 24 blinds, something
After
like
you
that.
get the pure fold through, yes.
Right, yeah. Look, it's not
It's
a
all
pure,
about incentives, Bert.
Wait, hold on. How
it is
many?
not a pure fold versus these two.
Time out. How many of the 6 are pure folds?
Huh? I don't know. I've only heard one so far.
I know, but I'm just
I'll keep
saying.
going.
How many of the 6 do we?
I heard the 8-9 suited one. That was pure fold too against Kitty.
Kitty got fucked on. All right. You want to talk hand histories? I'm out in the fucking streets. Kitty got absolutely fucked on.
Matt in the 5K.
Yeah, let's go through the entire experience, okay? Like, so now I have 24 bigs, and I'm in the cut or the hijack rather. It folds to the recreational now in the low jack, and he like looks very uncomfortable and opens. And I look at ace-3 suited, and I'm just like, I truly don't know what to do with this hand.
Fold, man.
Like, at least if it's ace-5, I just go, well, Landon said it's fine, and I yeet it,
No.
and it's like, okay. So I'm like, okay, well, I have 3 bets off this stack for sure. Maybe I should make it 5 blinds. And then I just like look at this guy, and I'm like, nah. He looks like the kind of guy who has had enough in some way or another. Whether he calls me, whether he jams on me, what I'm certain of is that me making it like 4.5 or 5 blinds here is never going to elicit a response that I'm happy with. So I'm like, all right, have some discipline. Fold your fucking hand. And I'm like, come on, man. It's ace-3 suited. We wait all day for these hands.
You waited 5 minutes.
I literally waited 0 hands. It was my second hand, and I already shoved the first. And I'm like, I can't do it. I call.
Yeah.
I choose the worst option, obviously.
Blunder.
Call. Big blind, who I later realized maybe I even could have just like called off here, because after he squeeze jams here, I see him talking to Texas Mike from the lodge stream in the HCL $1 Million game. And once I saw that conversation, I just saw him in a whole different lens. I was like, oh, this guy is getting after it.
You got 10-9 suited or
Yeah,
something.
for sure. Like, and you know what? I was right. Watching him play thereafter, like, bro was getting after it. He had the look of a pro, but you know, eventually came around to just being
He
Texas
came
Mike
to
adjacent.
light.
So I end up folding there. I play.
2 blinds you could have got back.
That is 2 blinds I could have got back. I play raise early position off of like 18 with 10s, get it through.
It's a good hand. I like
I'm trying
that
to think
one.
of like meaningful hands.
That's a valid one.
Yeah, I opened ace jack off under the gun
That's a good
off of 13,
That's nice.
and
Yeah.
Zachy tanked forever with 11 in the small blind. And I like, he tanked long enough that I think I was just resigned to calling it off. Like, I just wasn't going to fold, and he folded ace-7 suited, so I got that one through. I'm trying to think, like, how I got on chips prior to moving. I don't remember any, like, significant hands. Like, may have gone post a couple times. I think I got a couple jams through. I think I got, like, squeezed, shoved through with ace-king.
What was the ace-5 off one?
That's how I busted.
That's later.
That's later.
Okay, never mind.
So I go to the new table. New table's not as much fun. It's still fun, but it's like Reese with like 30 bigs. I have like 20, I think. Rast has a pile to my left. Another couple solid guys, a couple Rex that I recognize, and former Software Y student owner immediately to my right.
Nice.
Who, by the way, never acknowledged my presence. Not one. I'm in the 1, he's in the 9, and I kind of like kept looking around the dealer like to give him the, hey, what's up, man? How you been? And like, bro just looks right through me.
Locked in.
It's like he's just an undercover.
He doesn't want people to know that he went to the academy.
Right. He's just an undercover Eastern European at this point. You know, he's just out there. So he busted in unfortunate fashion. He rejammed. And honestly, this actually kind of prefaces my jam because I know so fucking little about stack off thresholds when it comes to pre-flop. I just don't study these fucking charts. And how do you guys do it? How do you study 10, 15, 18, 22, 25, 30, 35, 40, 50? Like, where does it end?
It doesn't.
How the fuck? And then you got to do it all over again for
It
ICM.
never ends.
I mean, like, let's just see 3, boys. You know? Let's see 3. Maybe if I touch this board, we'll figure out what to do from there.
Well, you tried that, and
I fucked on Kitty is what I did.
Tell me about it.
I chipped up. Don't really recall how.
it's all a blur.
It was because I didn't show anything down.
Right.
So like I don't remember. I was just like making a lot of moves. You know? Making a move.
Navigating.
Big move guy over here.
Big move maker.
Moving around in the streets. Yeah. So I don't remember like what happened, but I got up to like 24, I think, when I started the 8-9 hand. This sounds about right because you told me to fold pre.
Yeah.
So I think I had like 24 bigs. And you know, Kitty was in the mix. Nitty Kitty might have died with her new baby being born.
Mm-hmm.
She's Mama Kitty now, and she's out there. She's in the mix.
Mother
so
Kitty.
she had a pile. She had like 300K at 4K big blind, I think.
Let's go Mother Kitty.
Or maybe 5K big blind. She opens a hand, loses. Very next hand she opens again. I look down at 8-9 suited on the button, and to give you an idea of like how bad my instincts are. I'm looking at a 24 big blind stack, and my only thoughts are what, Brian?
All in a fold.
All in a fold,
Not all
yeah.
in.
3 better.
Come on. Yeah, 3 better fold. Or no, 3 better call.
Yeah.
3 better fold.
Not gonna fold.
3 better fold.
3 better call. Sorry.
What the fuck hand is going to 3 better fold? That's just not even a thing.
Okay.
3 better call.
Yeah.
So I decide to call. I call. Big blind calls. And it comes 10-6-3 rainbow 1 club.
Mm-hmm.
Check. Kitty bets like 30% pot. Call. Turn, jack of hearts, bringing backdoor hearts. Check. Kitty bets like 25% pot now. And I'm weirded out. And I didn't really know what to do. But now I improved. I'm like, well, fuck. Do I jam now? Can't jam now. Seems like a bad idea. I call. Big blind folds. River, worst card in the deck. 3. Pairing bottom pair. She checks. I don't really have a choice.
I have 9 high.
I have 9 high and pot behind.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So all in but 1 chip. She folds. I tell Landon in the hand, expecting a proud papa moment of like, you played that good. Nope. Fold pre, man. Jesus Christ.
I was not happy about it.
See?
Oh, I
Post
remember,
was fine.
I remember one of the ones I chipped up on. Didn't show it down, and I was kind of mad at myself because I feel like I could have custom sized and made more. But I defended big blind with king 5 suited. It came 8-5-3 rainbow.
Oh, the only good hand you played.
Game 8-5-3 rainbow. I
Is it
check.
flush draw?
I check recreational that I recognize that I've played with a bunch before. Checks back. Turn king of spades, bringing 2 spades. So it's
Nice
like
card.
king 8 of spades. I check. He bets way too fucking small, like 20% pot. So I
Yeah,
check
that's-
raise 3E, which is like I think 66% pot or 75% pot, something like that. I think SPR was like around 3, so like 75% pot. And he tanks and hims and haws forever, and then folds. And I was like telling Landon in the hand, I was like, I think I punted here. And he's like, no, you played this good. I was like, I know I played it theory good, but like I think that he would just muck too much king jack.
So just check raise smaller.
Smaller, yeah. And he's like, well, that's good. Like, you get counterfeit, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, but like, you know, I have a really good fucking
Yeah,
hand.
you got 2 pair.
I got the 2 pairs. The sneaky 2 pairs.
Oh yeah.
I mean, his value range calls anyways, and if he's doing something not great, that's on him.
I agree with you in general. I had a fear that like he's folding too much king jack, king 10.
No way, man.
I don't know, man.
No one bets 20% and gets raised and has a king and says, oh, look, this is no good anymore.
I mean, do they even bet 20% with a king?
especially in
No,
the
because they're not
5K.
supposed to. They're supposed to bet bigger.
That's what I mean. Like, it's I don't know. I don't know. I felt icky about it, but I was just like, whatever. I stack ace king when he has it, so fuck it. Let's
It's a
ball.
good hand. Yeah, it shows a bad size.
So then
Check raise.
we'll talk about the muck hand. That cost me some chips. I then lose a big pot to Rast. Where I had a pair open ender.
An interesting one. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
but it's long. And honestly, like, don't want to get into it too much. But
I gotta get down to the Gladiators. These blinds are blinding off already. You know what I mean? Wrap this thing up.
There's only 4 days of registration for this tournament.
Right, yeah. LeMan is hurting for those 100 levels.
I'm trying to bag today, man. I need a few days off. I played 1 day this week.
I tried to play 1 day this week.
So I lose this pot versus Rast. I have like, I don't know, 14 blinds left, and it folds around to the cutoff. What's this kid's name?
Ostapchenko.
Yeah,
Andrew.
Yeah. He opens like 3.5x from the cutoff, and I have like 13 bigs with 5s on the button. I'm just like, what the fuck is this? I don't know. I just don't know, and like, I have a good hand.
He opened from where?
The cut, but for 3.5x, like 30 out of the money. Like, I just don't know what the fuck is going on. And I'm just like, I'm not gonna fold 5s here.
Yeah, just get all in.
Yeah, so I yeet it, and he folds, and I'm
Curious about this.
okay, interesting. So the next orbit, I have like 15 blinds in the small, and it folds them on the button, and he 3.5x's again. And I look down at ace 5 off, and I remember owner's bust hand where he jammed 25 versus a cutoff open from the big with ace 5 off. And I was like, man, that felt like a little bit of an overplay. And Landon's like, no, that's good. And I'm like, okay, well, this guy's raised folding off 3.5. I have ace 5 off.
Yeah, he might fold ace 6, ace 7, ace 8.
It's good from the big blind. Fuck it, we ball.
I mean, it can't be that bad.
It has to be so bad.
No, it can't be. Like, I mean, you have 15 bigs, right? 17? Yeah. I mean, if ace X off for 20, like when button opens, is just a jam for chips. It's
From
like
small?
Yeah.
Really?
You just take these are the jams that like
okay,
I hate
that makes
the
me feel a
most.
little bit better about it because like I don't intuitively do that. Like I looked at the hand and I'm just like, oh, I would have
No,
folded
look
to
at it. Go to the wizard.
I'm like, I would have just folded to a min raise.
No, go
What's
to
with the 3? I mean, I know you're supposed to like raise bigger when you're like
He does a lot of weird stuff.
when you're
like,
in position because you're not gonna get 3-bet as often, but like
I just think
3.5x seems.
No, I think he's just like more of a creative player.
It just depends on also like how much the big blind has, or if the big blind has like 10 bigs. Sometimes you go bigger.
Raz covered us all.
And he was in the big blind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was going bigger to disincentivize Rast from calling pre.
Maybe.
Like
I mean, he just did a lot of creative stuff. Like
Sure.
he limped under the gun off of 40,
yeah.
like 35 out of the money.
He's cooking. He does his own thing.
He's doing
I can
his own
respect
thing
that.
for sure.
But yeah, like you look at like 20 effective or whatever, and the button opens, and you have like basically most ace X offs and ace X suited. You just jam from the small, and it feels really dumb and bad, but it's actually good and annoying because that's how I doubled in the 1500 6 max. When button opened, I jammed 17 from the small with ace 5 off, and he had 9s, and I rivered an ace, and I scammed him.
That's what you do. You just
Scamming's
get it in
nice.
bad and river the best hand.
Yeah,
and then
and
you
it's
just
just
have
like
chips.
I would not have made these jams if I didn't do more work, and they're just like the right play because the button's too wide. You get called by king jack suited, king 10 suited,
which
and
is nice.
You also just get like ace 6 off to fold. You know,
Yeah,
you get
right.
like some suited hands of his to fold, and it does relatively well enough. And you just kind of get the big blind to fold. There's an ante in the middle pre.
free money.
Take the money. Hope you don't get called.
Yeah, so I got called.
Feels like you get called too much though when you do it.
He had queens.
Yeah.
You did not.
I mean, it's the
find
same
ace.
thing, right? Ace 5 versus 9s and ace 5 versus queens. Like
Yeah,
you still
except-
need the ace.
Except you didn't hit
owner,
the ace.
owner drilled the ace, and then just the guy found a fucking 9 on a turn.
Oh.
It's the
It's
same
so
idea though,
brutal.
right? You have the over versus a pair if they call.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no difference if he has 8s.
No, yeah, that's true. I guess like maybe you might have fold equity against 8s.
Did you guys see how the bubble
Should not
busted? Do we have that asset?
Oh, that's good.
No.
Oh,
I did see somebody say like, Pads was saying that it's like one of the grossest bubbles.
Yeah, it was
That
like
is
it was like
disgusting.
queen 6 versus like
Queen
10-7.
Yeah.
Guy flopped a flush versus
flops
one
a-
pair.
Yeah, it comes 7 high, and he flops a flush, 7 high all clubs. So he flops the queen high flush, and the other guy's top pair of 7s, and it just comes 10-7.
Yeah. The TD is just like, and the short stack will double. And then it was like,
Yeah.
wait, like it's not over. And then
Yeah.
like 1-2, like, and it's Martin Stausholm, GG Martin.
Yeah.
He'll be all right.
Hey, hey.
You're back in.
I didn't punt.
I know.
No, you yelled at me
For what?
Yelled at me.
for jamming this spot.
Eh.
You yelled bad.
I don't know if I yelled that bad.
You gave me a tongue lashing, my friend.
Relax.
I
Was he
felt
reprimanding you?
Oh my god, man! I was beside myself, upset all fucking day.
It was fine.
Like I went to play cash, and I was just like pissed. Like, God, you're so fucking bad at tournaments.
No, you're not that bad.
Pure jam.
Yeah, it's good.
It's a pure fucking jam
He's like, nah, it's good.
on the bubble.
I want to look back and see if I yelled at you. I told you
Look
though.
back, I came to the room and you yelled at me.
Wait, this is which hand?
This is the ace 5 off.
Oh.
Small blind.
He
Yeah.
said it was good.
Just now,
No, I didn't look at it. I didn't look at it any time after.
Oh, before he said it was
when
bad?
I went back to the room, he yelled at me.
I did not yell at him. He does
yelled
this
at
every.
me.
Brian, who would you believe? The person that like speaks normally and calmly versus the guy
No.
that likes to lie on air?
I've seen
Wait,
you-
Tyler, who
I've-
the fuck speaks normally and calmly?
I speak
Yeah.
normally and calmly.
Now,
No,
you're obviously
no, no,
delusional,
no.
so anything
Yeah.
you say from here on
Right.
out does not apply.
Right.
I'm sorry.
I've seen Landon-
Invalidated.
Landon,
No, validated.
Landon is calm a lot of the times, but I've seen him get a little
Not with hand
animated.
histories.
Seward
when
was
they're
there.
talking about
Ask
hand
Seward.
histories,
It was not
he believes
Seward.
something. Right. Listen, Landon just has a lot of conviction, which is good.
Yes.
And, you know,
there?
he really likes to express that conviction.
Have we taught you nothing?
How did Seward end up in the Venetian?
He got final 2 tables
Oh,
for GG Seward.
GG's.
Cole's final table though got 5th.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well, if you don't have a swap, who cares?
yeah. I
Uh,
like to see my friends win.
man, I'm beside
It's a
myself.
good jam. You did good. That
I'm
one.
beside
That
myself.
one was good.
Berkey, good job.
This is
You
look.
should play more tournaments.
No, I should not. But I am glad to see my instincts aren't nearly as bad as I. Now,
Well, the issue
is it still a jam versus 3.5?
That's the point, right?
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, we saw him raise fold off that size before. So it's like, if it's a pure jam at 2, the additional chips in the pot can't really make it worse.
It just depends on if he's opening the bottom stuff for 3.5x that will fold.
Right. If he's like splitting, if he's like super polar with his 3.5 open and then just has a min
Well,
also.
if he's super polar, the ace x off is better because you block the good hands.
Oh, yeah, true.
right.
True. But you also block his raise folds. Goes both. It cuts
You have an
both
ace.
ways.
You got an ace, and
Yeah.
I mean, you're not trying to get called, but you might.
I'm not trying to get called.
You have equity if you do.
You should play the Gladiator today.
I like how like this
Oh.
entire tournament like this. I don't know. This analysis is like, man, like the last 10 I played, like I did good. Where it's like, what about like the 5 other hands?
I played everything so well, and now I'm realizing all you did was gaslight me.
9
I feel
hands to
so
fold.
validated by everybody here. Thank you for finally having my back. Whenever I say this,
Listen,
Yeah.
he gives me. I post in the chat.
listen.
I'm very vulnerable, and I feel very
he puts his
unconfident.
heart out there.
Let me tell you something. This is
bleeding
none
heart.
of your doing. This is only Landon invalidated himself.
I understand what happened
Yeah,
here.
you know, he just invalidated himself. He kind of just wrote himself off.
Buddy, I know exactly what happened. I'm just happy you guys didn't do what you usually do and gaslight the fuck out of me.
Nah.
Okay,
we would have, but he
Right.
ruined
If
that.
Melissa were here,
Oh,
she
she
would
was
have
here.
just been like, "No, he's right. Landon never
Yeah.
yells about anything."
and I would
then-
100% jumped on
I
the
yell
Melissa
about-
of
train.
course, and then
Look,
I'd be sitting here like, "Are we doing this again?"
I yell about
Yeah.
things. I just didn't yell about this thing.
Oh, I
Don't
got-
worry, Burke. Don't worry.
Burke.
There'll be time for gaslighting you
Burke.
later in the
Right.
future.
Global wants to use his credentials, so he said he wants to vlog you today.
Oh, okay, I'll be in
playing the
Bobby's room
and
at-
playing the Gladiator.
Bobby's room.
Burke, think of the edge you would have in the Gladiator.
Come on, seriously.
You want to know what my day was like yesterday? I literally wanted to eat my feelings. I felt so bad about how I busted this 5K. I was like angry and emotional and
You
sad.
won't have that feeling in the
all at the
Gladiator.
same time. Like I haven't slept in 2 weeks. I was looking at my Whoop today. I'm averaging like 4.5 hours of sleep a night. Like I'm just exhausted and emotional and like don't have any confidence in how to play tournaments well at all. And I'm just thinking like, man, this is why you don't reg, because like you just fucking suck at this game so bad. But then I had a seat and I was like, all right, when we go play cash, very first hand off the deck, just like in the tournament, first hand off the deck, they give me the ace 4 suited under the gun 1. I open. Oaken does that thing, you know, and I was like, nah, he did that thing. I'm gonna 4-bet his ass. So I 4-bet his ass. He calls. I flop top pair on ace 10-6 rainbow, 1 club. I bet. He calls. Turn 7 of clubs. I'm like, not a great range card, but really good card for my hand. We're going to get his ass. I check. He bets way too big. I'm like, okay, we got him. I call. We have like 0.6 SPR behind. Mind you, we started the hand like 50K effective. So the pot, it's kind of big.
Yeah.
River, queen of clubs. I check. He snap checks back. And I'm like, what the fuck did he river? Did he snap check back? And I just go nuts. And he goes, ah, damn it, every time. storms out of the room, and then I ask him later, like, did I suck out on you? Which I was pretty confident I did not. Yeah. And he was calmer at this point. He goes, "No, you outplayed me."
You gotta love the honest answer.
Which you know pisses him off way more than getting
Right.
out.
Right. And it's like all I could think to myself is, why?
So good.
Why do I put myself through this fucking misery of playing? And look, I totally get it. Like, people are really good at tournaments. Mm-hmm. And like, they feel the same level of confidence when they sit in the tournament table that I do when I sit in cash.
Where are these people? I haven't seen.
You're playing fucking 400s, man. You're the exact reason why I said they should raise the goddamn buy-in.
Get in the Gladiator. Berkey, you know what the Gladiator was last year? $500,000 the first.
I don't give a shit, man.
$500,000. That's $500,000.
And you're only risking $300.
Okay,
$300.
Brian.
Well, he'd be in for max, which is like, I don't know, $2,400.
All right, Brian.
Sure.
If you told me that I could make $500,000 a year at the South Point playing 1-3 1% of the time, and the other 99% of the time I win like $20K.
But you're only there for 20 minutes.
No.
Yes.
No. I can't make $20K in the fucking tournament long run by being there for 20 minutes on average.
No.
Okay. So if you're telling me on average I have to play 1,000 hours a year at South Point 1-3, and 1% of the time I get to make $500,000, and the other 99% of the time I make $20K, do you think I would ever go fucking play 1-3?
That's an asinine analogy.
It's a perfect one.
No, it's not, because you're
Here we fucking go.
Here we fucking go. You're comparing a full years of work to like a 3-day tournament.
I'm comparing.
What are we talking about here?
I'm comparing two torturous environments.
No,
we
but
talking about
one
here?
torturous environment only lasts for 3 days. The other one lasts for a year. That's a lot more torture.
It's a long goddamn 3 days.
And
at least
that's
I
not
enjoy
even torture.
cash.
Like, you know how fun it would be to just beat the South Point all year long? God, at the Jewel, you get all the hot dogs you want. You got primarily prime rib. God. So all the meat you want.
Everything you just said is disgusting.
It's so good. The hot dogs are amazing. Primarily prime rib is like the most
Gross.
underrated restaurant in the whole city.
Honestly,
I
I can say this with like pretty strong conviction. In spite of our different plights in life, I don't think Lamanna would swap places with me.
Never.
I don't think there's anything that could ever make him want to swap places. He's like 100, 200. Fuck that.
Wait, no seasoning? I'm out.
Yeah.
Bland chicken?
Right.
Fuck that.
Hell, man.
Oh
Fuck
man.
this shit.
I'm good.
I'm just look. We're just cut from different cloths, man. I don't have the same level of patience. Like, I like to be in action. Poker is the only form of gambling that I undertake, and I don't even.
There's gonna be a lot of action today.
Fucking shut up. Like, listen to this 3-hand sequence. And mind you, we're gambling for like tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay. Hijack opens, cutoff calls. I squeeze tens on the button. Hijack calls, cutoff now back raises to $5,000.
Love the back raise.
I now 5-bet tens as a dead min click.
That
fold.
seems-
All right.
What?
So
What the fuck? What do you mean, what? What do you think the cutoff is fucking back raising
Yeah,
here?
but they have to call a click.
It's half his stag.
So Berkey, you made it 20,000, right?
No.
So he
wait.
bet a quarter of his
You made
stack and
10,000? I
folded?
made 10,000.
That's
Okay, so you made it 10,000. You risked $10,000 to win what? 30. Now you could take 300 and go on down to the Gladiator and get first place for 500,000.
Hold on.
Listen to my math here. You're a guy of math,
I
right?
like
Man
it.
of math.
That's boy math.
I'm getting new information, and you pulled up a bad sim.
Don't do math on air.
You pulled
Wait,
up a bad sim.
No, I didn't. ICM near the bubble, 20 big blinds.
Yeah, but you pulled up one where the button opens off 14 and you cover him.
Oh.
And then
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Fuck.
we're going to it.
Shout out to
Sorry, I
D-Laz.
thought I did. I thought
You
out
think
to
the
you.
child / slave of the sim is going to
doesn't
miss
matter.
this?
Doesn't matter.
Is this with?
This
wait a
is
minute.
symmetric.
Yeah, symmetric's not a good example though.
Yep.
What do you want me to
You
do?
said Ras covers everyone.
Yeah, but I mean, what do you want me to do, man? I only had 14 bigs instead of 20. Like,
I don't. But I
there's
want-
only so much I can do here.
this is why I run my own solves.
Okay, but like, I don't have the ability to do that now. Like, how much is it going to change?
a lot.
Okay, so ace 5 becomes a pure fold whenever big blind covers.
I mean, when you're also covered by the button, not just The big
Yeah.
blind covering.
Yeah, but
Couple
like
people out there
in
can
this
bust you.
instance, I'm still
You
symmetric
suited
with the
ace.
button.
Yeah, but you and Ostapchenko didn't have the same chips. He had more than you.
I don't. Okay, I'm not sure how that's going to change
It-
my
it
jam
will-
range that much.
But it will, because you can be out of the tournament.
Burke, you did just fine.
Okay, let's change it to
It's
near.
okay. You did just fine.
Let's just keep plucking through the sim until we find one that makes Landon happy.
I mean, I got sent a lot of them that don't have an ace 5 in there. I got sent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got sent 5 of them.
I don't know what you want me to do, man.
Shout out to the people doing the hard work.
Yeah.
They're the ones
being D-last.
They're the ones actually winning in MTTs.
Yeah.
I don't want this fucking pay. Why correct me? Just let me keep doing this, man. I
He
might
wanted me
actually
to
play another one.
gaslight you.
Oh, yeah.
He got what he wanted.
Now he's back on the train that he did yell at me. now that he's
we
back
all,
on.
listen. We all know Landon yelled at you.
Right.
We know so much that we didn't even try to gaslight you.
Right.
Sure.
Now that he knows that he was right again, he gets to.
I mean,
He gets it, yeah.
He
He's
gets
like,
to
that's
get
why I
back-
was screaming at you in the hotel
he
room.
gets to get back on his
Screaming.
soapbox.
Someone else was there. It was C-word.
It was not Seward. It was Harbs.
Oh, it was G. Right. You're right.
Wow, you just saying all
Ask
white guys
Harbs.
look alike?
No,
Yeah.
I
Landon?
just fucked up.
He basically just calls the minions.
Yeah.
I heard
Harbs was
him.
there. I
Yeah.
wasn't
He
yelling.
doesn't even call him by his first name
That's
or his
fucked
last
up.
name.
That's
He just
fucked
calls
up.
him Minion too.
That's fucked up, bro.
It is fucked up.
Jesus.
That's what I call
these guys are supposed to be friends.
All
talking
white
about
guys look
timestamp, bro?
alike.
Yeah, he calls him Timestamp Bro and Minion too.
He's C-word now.
C word.
Big C.
C word.
The big C. All right, we got a lot of controversy and scandal happening around the poker sphere. I know you guys are all tapped in for that. By the way, if ever there's a question based off the thumbnail, I am not switching careers. I'm going to take a nap. So let's start first and foremost with a revisit of the alleged cheated game that Wesley and Airball got scammed out of 7 figures. Apparently, there was an alleged arrest. I guess it's not an alleged arrest. There was an arrest over
Allegedly. There
over
was-
one of the players from this game. Long Fi Bruce Pham was a part of a group of poker players that were alleged to have cheated this high stakes home game in LA. That's not what they were arrested for. They were arrested for in New York with being charged to being the primary fixers behind an NBA stat shaving scheme, which included Toronto's Raptor guard Jonte Porter.
I remember.
So this is the guy that was just previously banned for life, I believe.
Yes, it is.
That's right.
Michael Porter's brother.
He was the one that was like betting on,
Yep.
like doing the parlays and shit
Yep.
on his stat line. So apparently they were the ones that were benefiting from this, or at least the ones who put him up to this. And Mr. Pham was arrested as he was attempting to leave the country and flee to Sydney, claiming that he was going there to play whatever their main tournament is at the Star right now, which I guess registration is already closed for. It was like some 10K at the Star, which, by the way, I didn't know poker tournaments were back in Australia. Do we have outside hope for Aussie Millions return?
The pod, the Aussie pod.
The Aussie pod?
Ozzy.
Oi, oi, oi.
We are ready.
There's a strong mutual love between this podcast and the Aussies.
I'm with it.
We love them. They love us. We need to get the Aussie Millions back. That is a tournament you can get me
Play.
not just to play, to travel halfway across the fucking globe for.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Interesting.
So apparently, like, this guy has like a vague poker history. It seems as though he's mostly just an underground guy. But the lawyer claims that Pham is one of the top 1% players in the world. Jessica Wellman put a tweet out that said, the criminal complaint against the guy arrested said he is a top 1% poker player, but have any of y'all heard of Long Fee Bruce Pham?
I thought you were saying Jess Wellman put out a tweet that said, no, he's not.
Right. No, he's not. Wesley then followed up.
Check his send mob.
Quote tweeted and said, these guys cheated me out of $4 million. So it does look like we're revisiting this kind of stuff. The case that the government, I guess, has against them is that Pham was central to Porter faking injuries in order to come out of the game, to prevent him from hitting overs.
Yeah, he was placing the bets.
Yeah, on the props. So if nothing else, it looks like some justice may be served for these guys who were cheated in the poker game. Unfortunately, this has nothing to do with that in the sense of retribution.
Yeah, I was
so
gonna say they're not gonna get any money back.
he'll get jail time, but they ain't gonna get any money back.
Apparently, it says Pham has been charged with conspiracy with others to defraud an unnamed sports betting company, which can result in prison sentence up to 20 years.
Let's go.
Wow.
Throw the book at him.
It's a long time.
Put him away. I
wonder
care.
if Jonte's going to go to jail for this as well.
Good
Right?
question.
It feels
Probably not,
why? Go on.
because he's not the one he's not the one defrauding the.
But he's in cahoots to the fraud.
It's
Conspiracy.
Yeah, maybe, but like lesser sentence. I'm almost sure. And I don't know, I don't know like how that stuff works. Like, I mean, I guess like if you extrapolate out the example of like the getaway driver versus the person who robs the bank, they probably all get the same sentencing.
Yeah, that was the first analogy I was going to go
Yeah, but when it comes to this stuff, I think like with fraud, the actual transaction is probably going to be the most scrutinized. So him actually placing the bets, probably. Again, I'm speculating. I don't really know. Maybe Jonte does do some time over this. I mean, he lost his fucking career.
That's for sure.
And like he wasn't even placing the bet. Like, how much could he be benefiting? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, for
the
from
bets
what I
were like
heard,
for like
he's-
$85K, right?
From what I heard, he was like in debt from gambling. I think he was the one. There was
That makes sense.
a couple of.
Well, he fucked up. Let me tell you, Conrad, he fucked up because there's a lot of NBA players who are in debt and that happen to have a liking for poker. And you know what they do?
What they do?
They run cheated home games. I'll be the first one to tell you. If an NBA player is running a fucking home game, do not go.
So we are.
If a rapper is, it's actually pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are sure that home games could possibly be cheated.
Allegedly.
Bring it back to that.
Allegedly, home games may, in fact, not be on the up and up.
All right.
You heard it here first.
Be careful
guys.
out there, kids.
Sticking with the, there's actually, I didn't expect this to be a scandal episode, but there's a lot going on. Speaking of cheaters, Ali Izmirovic, or I'ma steal your bitch, has made his triumphant return.
He back.
Really
He's out in the streets.
interesting.
The win 1600.
No, they're letting him play.
I hope he wins it. I actually hope he wins it because
Explain yourself.
well,
Because then his face gets blasted everywhere.
It
and
brings
then
so
it's-
much attention that the win will then have to make a decision of whether or not they want this negative spiral to continue.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, the win would be the first place to say no.
I hope.
I believe the win would be the first place to like say, "This is our room."
Well,
and we
I'll
don't
tell you
welcome
right
They're
now-
it."
not the first to say.
Right, I'll
no.
tell you right now, they're not because PokerGo absolutely will not let him play.
Yeah, neither
Okay,
will
okay.
the EPTs, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But what I do think this means is we may see him at the WSOP unless, and this is something I've been speculating on for a while, but there's a good chance he and Jake were actually like quietly banned from the WSOP because we didn't see them last
Man,
year.
I'ma steal your bitch would have been a great name
wait,
for the
I know.
We didn't see him last.
I don't think that one would have got through
No,
though.
probably
I
not.
think
You can
Jake
fight
played
those,
Two
man.
years ago, Jake
Yeah.
played.
Oh, he didn't play last year.
No. Remember the sad
I saw the bracelet.
lone, the sad lone Jake at the table.
The Lone Ranger.
Yeah.
I remember that picture.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. I'm pretty sure they did not play last year,
I'm gonna go
but I'm
find
not
out-
positive.
I'm gonna go find out when the last time Jake cast a tournament.
Yeah, that'd be good to know.
Researcher.
Yeah, I would hope that as like more attention gets turned to this, that you know these properties. I mean, like people get banned for so much less.
All
bro.
right, so he 100% played WSOP last year.
Okay.
Not banned.
Yeah,
Not banned confirmed.
and he looks like the last stop he's been at was Seminole in August.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they didn't do anything
Yeah,
to
but
take action.
that looks like he hasn't played any poker, obviously, anything other than that.
Yeah, they both played last year.
Okay. Well, it'd be nice to see
If they want
that
back in, they
change.
got back in.
I mean, it worries me because like as more time passes,
The
It
more it
just
goes away.
fades.
It just
It kind
fades
of-
away.
Yeah, it's just like
the story.
it'll feel like
fades.
less pressing to
Yeah.
enact a ban now,
Right.
right? It's like for WSOP or Win to move forward now and be like, oh, actually, like no, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
But the thing, it's so crazy.
They didn't
to
do
me.
it right when the heat was all on them. They were
Right.
gonna do it now.
But I mean, if you knew the reasons why, I don't think I can like really speak too much publicly about stuff. But like, if you knew the reasons why people get fucking banned from properties, bro, it's nothing. I mean, nothing. Like, you can get 86 from a property for like looking at a floor person the wrong way if they don't like you.
Yeah.
I'm exaggerating, obviously, but like,
No, you're not. It could literally happen just like that. If a floor person doesn't like you and they just want to have a gripe to pick with you, they will get you just
but
completely
even
86.
beyond that, like, they're very quick to just 86 people that like have any sort of outstanding speculation around like illegal activity or whatever. Like, there's this big case going on with Otani's bookie or whatever.
Yeah.
And ancillary to that is this guy who's been a part of high stakes poker for years, who was also somehow entrenched in this. I don't know if he was like running numbers.
He was the bookie.
I don't know if he was actually the bookie or if he was like one of.
I mean, apparently from the articles, he was the bookie.
You know who I'm talking about?
I don't know who you're talking about, but
Okay,
I know who
then-
you're talking about. He plays poker. I read the articles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's being indicted, obviously, and basically all properties across the board just like 86'd him. But
Really?
people who do business with him, like who were having him in games and stuff like that, also just 86'd.
Yeah.
People that were doing
Guilty by
business without-
association.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is-
like guys that were, running high stakes games.
Like private games or casino games?
Casino, well, both, but
yeah.
like,
Yeah, gotcha.
basically anybody that was like taking on his business, just 86 across the board. And, there's a lot of scrutiny now taking place in the high stakes arena where we're under a much more watchful eye because of this guy having been involved and laundering and all these other reasons. So it's like, when it comes to things at a federal level, they don't fuck around. If somebody's even under suspicion of anything, casinos are just like, we don't want your business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, you have a poker cheater that the community has like all but demonstrated is absolutely guilty. And these places are like, don't really want to set this precedent.
Somebody was
You
saying
know?
that there was people cheating in their casino or not, and he's like, after they found out, he's like, man, the casino should really give back the money. We're renting chairs for them, but I just started dying. I lost it. I was like,
insane.
listen, my man, you're not getting shit.
Not
all
a
right,
penny.
not a goddamn penny. But you're not even getting the water for free. You got a tip still.
That's right. And if you're in LA, you pay $1.
It's true.
Plus the tip. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Like, it's just one of those things where they're so quick to act in their best interest, obviously. But even when you look at the poker community, some of the people that are banned from like the WSOP, like, not saying he didn't have it coming because like he was maybe inciting panic in a public place, but like Panzica's banned for life for just being drunk. And
There's a few of them. Kevin Garashim is also banned for being drunk. And saying something stupid at like the final table.
And like, I don't remember what Slay got banned for, but I feel like it was rather innocuous.
It was something along the same lines.
He got his lifted, obviously, but it's like, bro, like, people are fucking cheating. Like, just fucking ban them. Like, you're not that shy to ban people,
Right.
Right.
I mean, they just don't want to do like they don't want it to be a witch hunt.
It's not.
I understand.
That's the thing, is it's just literally not.
I understand, but they what they are banning people for is stuff that they heard, they like whatever they seen. Like,
I mean, we're talking about a security guard who's making like $8 an hour.
Listen,
that
know.
hears a drunk guy say something a little out of pocket, and all of a sudden his entire livelihood's stripped from him.
Yeah, I'm well aware.
Right? Like, come on, like. These are the people we're trusting. Maria Konnikova wrote an article the other day about how her and Maria Ho were walking back to their 5K seat, I believe.
This is so stupid.
After break, and one of the security guards stopped them and goes, whoa, ma'am. Only poker players are allowed beyond this point.
Like, what?
And like, they just get heated. But like, look at the guy's making fucking $12 an hour. You think he has any fucking idea who poker players are?
Yeah.
And like, she's obviously right because he's profiling.
Right.
And in his mind, women don't play poker, and that's fucking ridiculous.
I wanna
But also,
see-
like, how is he even supposed to do his job? Like, what are the higher ups telling him? Like, hey, only let poker players pass this point. He goes, okay, what constitutes a poker player? And they're like, oh, white and male.
Yeah.
I want to see Maria
They have a
upset when
backpack
that man.
on?
when that man said that to her? Because I'm pretty sure she flipped out on him.
I promise you, she was not just calmly explaining, like,
Exactly.
actually, I'm in the 5K, and here's my receipt. It's like, motherfucker, do you know who we are?
Right.
Like,
No, they don't know.
Like, we are actually, like, those two are in some regards like poker royalty. You
I
know
would
what I
have
mean?
loved to see her just flip out on him.
And the funny part is the way the story ends is like David Williams walks up on them, he sees the whole confrontation, and basically just like speaks up on not only on their behalf, but like kind of scolds the security guard. Yeah. And it's like, no way this fucking guy knows who David Williams is.
Right.
Like,
I'm
literally
surprised-
0% chance.
I'm surprised he didn't say, "Excuse me, sir, poker players only." You don't fit the description.
Right. So it's just like, I mean, you know, it's a lose-lose. Like, they're setting this poor guy up for failure, but also this poor guy has this innate bias that just tells him that women don't play. Point is, that's the same guy that you're trusting to like get someone banned for life because they said something out of pocket when they were drunk. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, come on, like, Ali fucking cheated. You know, fucking Jake fucking cheated. Like, let's slap it down. You know,
Yeah.
let's move on in a positive way.
Speaking of cheating,
Yeah, we're not done yet. There's
we're
two
not
more.
done yet.
There's two more.
All right. Which one you got?
Mike Holtz was playing the 10K, the
1500.
10K. I know he's a ruffler, but he's not in the 10K. The PLO 8 1500, and 10 hands in, he said every ace, deuce, 3, and 4 on both sides of the deck were marked. A woman who plays mixed grabbed both decks and was able to identify every ace through 4 from face down cards.
Jeez.
The floor replaced the deck and told us they were not going to investigate. This thread then goes on. A lot of people were saying that this happens commonly and that they recycle decks. That they've noticed it as well in their mixed games, and that, you know, we obviously have to be very vigilant out there and make sure that, you know, you're checking on these things. But like, I get why they're not going to investigate, because that deck has probably been through fucking 100 tables.
They need to make cards that you can't like indent, like, you know what I mean?
Steal cards.
Not steal.
Imagine
but
that.
like somewhere between
Imagine that
what they
pitch.
have and steal.
Imagine that pitch.
Like fucking 30 miles per No, imagine when somebody's
All the
actually
dealers' biceps are just fucking jacked.
Imagine when someone's actually throwing it and then it hits your finger.
Right.
It's like, ah!
Or it hits you in the face.
Carbon fiber cards.
I don't know, something that like, you know, like is just fingerprint. Like, 'cause what are they using to do that? Their fingernail?
I think we're only
Usually.
a couple summers away before everything goes digital.
No way.
No shot.
No
Okay.
way.
Whatever you want to book on that one, buddy, I will book
How
it.
many summers?
He said couple.
I don't know, 7.
7 is not a couple.
Yeah, I mean, you can take 7.
I said
I said
7.
I mean,
summers
You said
away.
a couple. Run back the tape.
Time out.
Not the better part of a decade.
Yeah, listen, I am so comfortable with that, knowing that there is no shot clocks in fucking these birds,
Yeah,
and we
bro.
get the money. So
7 years.
whatever you want.
How much money would they save not having to pay dealers? Like, I don't know.
Ooh, you want the digital tables?
Oh my god!
I think this is the
Buddy,
direction.
those were
online
I
guy,
didn't,
of course
I didn't
he
say
does.
this is what I wanted. I said I think this
You
is
think
the
that's going to
direction we're headed.
happen? Those things were invented 15 years ago, and they exist nowhere.
Well,
Okay,
you know,
I
the
mean,
technology's
technology
changed.
does get better, Matt. I'm pretty sure they're not going to use the same
it's
ones
not
they
a lack
tried
of
10 years ago.
It's not a lack of technology.
People love the feeling of the
Yeah,
cards, of the
cards,
people want to play
chips,
online, they'll stay at home.
Right? Yeah, it's basically your. I mean, it's not playing online because you still have to look the person in the eye.
Okay,
and all
but
that kind
whatever,
of
but,
stuff,
like,
the
it's
social
different.
aspect of it.
It's
But
so
people
different.
like to have the chips, build the stacks, get those cards in your hand. Like it's, yeah.
The technology wasn't bad 10
I
years
could see
ago.
eventually this going this way, but I think we're still pretty far off.
I don't know that it will.
And it might never because people just love the.
I mean, the
feeling.
series is more of a convention than it is like some
Of course.
online.
It's not a problem of the tech. It's a problem of the onboarding. Like, people don't want it.
Right.
It was abundantly clear. I think Cherokee had digital tables for like a few years.
I think it was Cherokee.
And people just like absolutely wanted nothing to do with it. We would so much rather play half
one
the
out.
hands and yell at somebody incompetent in the box while bitching and moaning at a Euro who won't tell you how many chips he has in front of you, then turn the game fully digital where all the online nerds are just like locked in.
Speaking of dealers, like, all right, some aren't the best. Theirs might be a little slow. They might not be.
The 5K dealers are really good, by the way.
They might not be doing great. Don't fucking take your phone out and start videotaping one of them when they're slow or whatever. Stop being a miserable prick.
Unless they fall asleep.
All right, if they fall asleep,
If they
that's
fall
fine.
asleep, that's
different.
funny.
That's different. Like you don't like it's if somebody's trying, you try to help them instead of
Right.
fucking laughing at
Right.
them and
If
just
you
like
laugh
sitting
them
with your
or
phone.
you berate them or you do this, that's just going to make them nervous. They're going to cause them to have more mistakes, and it's going to slow the game down even more.
There was, dude,
right.
listen, there was
Try to
this-
make them as comfortable as they possibly can, and then they'll do better.
Listen, there was this lady in the box. She was yelling at me when I was helping her, and like whatever. It was really annoying, and it was slow. But at the same time, this guy just sits in the 5 seat and has his phone like this, just recording her in her face, and I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, grow the fuck up.
Yeah.
I hate that shit. I had to say that.
On the flip
Okay.
side, I had a dealer yesterday. This guy was so fucking fast. I'm like, dude, slow the fuck down. Like, I'm trying to get to the money. I'm just like, it's amazing how, and I don't know if you guys experience this either, but like when you have like a really, really fast dealer, everybody just starts to play real fast.
Yeah.
It's like they have to they try to keep up with the dealer.
For sure.
And it's just like, I'm just like, guys, slow. Like, it's like, this is a tournament. We don't want to see this many hands per hour. Like, slow down just a little bit.
Speak for yourself, Tortoise. Me and Berkey are trying to
Listen,
fucking
the
see all
tortoise
that.
got to go slow. You go too fast, the tortoise is going to get left behind, and we don't want that.
Fucking tort, man.
Tortoise.
All right, we have another scumbag to call out. Sorry, Alan, you finally made it to the show. I'm saying this a little bit tongue in cheek because this isn't like
This is just on brand for him. It's just so on brand.
it's very on brand. And it's not like it's not like he's robbing old ladies in the parking lot.
No.
But like this is such a laughable.
That picture.
The picture's great.
It's just like such a laughable representation of somebody who is like nitty to the point where they will give nothing up. And here's the thing: this isn't all Alan's fault.
No, it's not. It's not even. I don't even think it's his fault. To
No,
begin
it's
with.
100% his fucking fault.
I mean,
Jesus Christ.
There is a lot of other tables
This is
out
not all
there.
his fault. This is 100% his fault.
I don't
It's
think
100% his fault for initiating it. It's WSOP's fault for not enforcing it.
Right. They should, yeah.
To give you guys an idea of what happened, tables will not start until 4 people are seated. They're 2 hours into the 800. And they're opening new tables, obviously, to seat people.
Right.
3 people sit because they're reasonable fucking humans who got their receipts, saw their table, went, sat, got chips, and were ready to play poker because that's what poker players fucking do. Alan walks up to a 3-handed table, decides, no fucking way am I going to play 4-handed, sits there,
Takes the seat.
does not give up his receipt to the dealer. Somehow the dealer
Sitting in the car.
allows him to just sit there.
This is where he becomes the asshole when he just sits in the seat like, "Hey, this is my seat, but I'm just waiting."
I would have said, get the fuck up.
Of
Like, you're not
course.
even allowed to sit.
This guy's legit
No,
Larry David, man.
I wouldn't have done that. I would have just called the floor.
Of course,
Like,
right.
it's insane. And I guess the floor was called, and they just kept saying, we need 4 to start, which is insane. Like, how are they not just enforcing?
Bring somebody over.
Just grab his fucking receipt
Well,
and
yeah.
put chips in front of him.
Wait, hold on. But like, he doesn't have to start the tournament. Like, he doesn't have to sit down. He doesn't have to sit down at all. Like, he has a receipt. Like, he can sit when he wants. Like, he could just wait.
I don't think that should be the way it's. You're probably right. The system as it stands is probably right.
I honestly
or
think
probably like that right
I honestly think it's just more annoying what he did than as he did anything wrong.
now. I don't think so. I think once you print your receipt, you should only have X amount of time to take. Your
I
receipt.
thought
that's
that,
just not how it
once
is.
you registered that your chips could be put in play. That's not true.
I don't think so.
I always wait to-
not when you
They
late
hate me.
reg.
Not late registering.
It's true. It's true if you register from the
Think
start.
about all
Okay.
the times like you just go print out
Yeah.
your ticket and you just go walk around for an hour.
No, that's you.
What are you talking? I've never done that.
Whatever.
I've literally
I
printed
don't
out my
care
ticket
what
and
you
walked
guys
straight
do.
to the
I-
The person that's done what he's done is me.
Yeah, I was gonna say Landon 100% has done this 1,000 times. He's
If I
fucking
print-
gallivanting in the hallways.
I had a
Why would
receipt from last
you
year.
have
that I
your
didn't
ticket? You can go play poker. You decide to just
Landon
walk
has
around,
friends in the hallways.
check out the sites.
Nah, one
maybe go
time-
see the water show at the Bellagio.
Yes.
One time I printed the receipt and then was going to go sit down for a tournament. They asked for my ID. My ID was in the horseshoe room. I had to go back up to the room and took a nap.
Strong. I like that.
I don't think that's okay. To be quite honest.
Really?
Yeah,
So
because
I think it's fine.
no,
Well, go
because you
on.
can just like scout your table.
I mean,
Yeah.
sure.
What
No,
do you mean?
sure.
I
didn't
mean,
get to,
sure.
In my
Like,
defense, I
that's
didn't get
not
to see my
okay.
table. I
Fine,
I
but
took
like,
a nap.
I don't think that they should allow such loose loopholes to game the system.
You're saying if you get a really tough table, then you just unreg?
People do this.
Well, you can unreg, but also you can just like wait.
People do this for high-stakes tournaments.
Turns around.
You can wait and not play 100 big blinds versus a tough table and now come in max at the exact same seat.
Or people legitimately do this.
Right.
People do what you're saying when they're playing higher stakes tournaments, like 10Ks, 25Ks.
Especially like PokerStars event or like the events with the apps on it, because then you know where your table is before you even go.
Yeah, but with at least with WSOP, if you unreg, you can't re-reg the same event. They have a hard rule in place where they don't allow people to game it that way.
This happened like when I think was it Kane Callis was going to get the big blind or something, and then he unregged.
Yeah, and that's shitty.
Yeah,
like you should you should have a very finite window of time where you absolutely are going to be charged the seat, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I mean, whatever's reasonable, I guess. You're still going to be able to game the system, but not to this egregious degree.
What's not reasonable is fucking sitting in the seat knowing you're not playing until another fucking person shows up.
I mean, to be fair,
actually, he might not play until 2 people show up.
Right. He can actually wait till the table.
Or he would have played if he thought he had an edge against the 4 people.
He doesn't think he has an edge ever. But like to be fair to Alan, like he wasn't shy about it. He just did it as a fuck you to them. Like he literally sat there and didn't hesitate to say like, "Yep, here's my receipt. This is my seat, and I'm not playing."
Does not care.
Like, he's just a crotchety old man who's just like, "Nope, like nine-handed or bust, baby."
He could have like looked, saw there was only 3 people there, and then walked away and like came back later. No, he sat there so he could like at the exact moment that he decided, okay, now I want to play, I can play.
You would think that this is like a bit for a show.
It does feel like a curb.
It's like a curb bit.
A curb bit for
sure.
sure.
There's this Larry Davidson, and he's like, I don't know how to play 4-handed poker with these people. I'm waiting until there's 8.
I wonder if it's a reasonable expectation if once you print a receipt that shows up in the system and they put chips in the well or chips in the seat.
That's what they do for when you pre-reg.
I would be okay with them immediately putting a chip in or immediately putting a stack in play.
Right. Not when you register, but when you actually print the ticket. Yeah.
Correct. And if the blinds have passed, you can't unreg any longer.
Oh, think about the fucking technology that's involved in this.
It's not that much.
You need an iPad at every table.
No, you don't.
Why not?
I mean, that would be great. And I do believe that they're working on a system similar to Stars and
more iPads
EPTs.
are better.
But no, okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, how would they know?
Yeah,
because the floor people would be handling, but you're asking the floor now to do a lot.
All right, that you fucking try to call clock on the bubble. What's the situation there? It's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now think about fucking putting stacks in play.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. That's gonna be miserable.
But it is the system that needs to be executed.
I think, honestly, I'm not sure. Actually, no, they definitely don't.
I think if they can get this part digital, so like to Guapo's point, like I don't think we're gonna reach the digital age of actual gameplay, but like we have to get closer to the digital age of like
how Stars does it.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, we're a solid 6 years behind. Like the changes that they made to the digital wallets and stuff like that this year, they're 5 or 6 years behind. Mm-hmm. Like think of how much PayPal's grown in the last 15 years,
right?
And we're just now getting to the point of like being able to execute something digitally. I do think that like we'll move closer to what Stars does with EPT. In which case now we will have shot clocks because there will be an iPad at every table, or at least we hope that's the case. And at that point, I do think the proper rule would be stacks are immediately in play the second that you register, and then you have until you take a blind to unregister. That way, the window that somebody can game the system and like walk up on a table and be like, no, I don't want to play.
And if you unregister, you can't re-enter.
Small. Correct. I think that's already the case with WSOP.
Or you just mean not even just WSOP, but just anywhere.
I think this should be uniform. Like
standard.
These are the things. Like, look, Savage wants to talk about eliminating phones and stuff like that at the TDA summit. Like, I would like to eliminate these loopholes where people can game the system.
Some guy had 3 phones at my table yesterday. Wow. He literally had 3 phones. I'm like, he wasn't on them while he was playing, so that's good.
This is this is more of the EV.
No.
It's more of the EV gain, right? Of trying to scout out and then say, oh, like there's 2 recs at my table and a 25K, I'm gonna sit, versus, oh, I got the table with 7 regs, I'm gonna wait.
Right.
And then see if someone busts and then take my seat.
Right.
A lot of EV there, to be honest.
Yeah, too much to be quite frank.
Like there's a lot of like part of the ROI is like your table draw, and you get to like manipulate your table draw.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And sure, you get moved around later, but if you're playing with,
I don't like it, man. I don't like it one fucking bit.
It's valid.
You know?
You have a valid complaint.
Yeah. But again, I don't play tournaments, so all of you guys out there,
And when you do, you get yelled at.
It's
right? I
It's
get
kind of
yelled at
funny
all the
'cause,
time.
like you think about it, like when you get your ticket, right? You have to go sit on a late right line. Like sometimes you just don't want to wait on that line. Like you just want to wait till it dies down after you see it, and it's like whatever. Like I'm gonna go do something else, and I'll come back. Like it's
well,
things
yeah,
just need to be streamlined.
but
more.
that would be a different case because the reason that line exists is there are no seats.
Oh, because so you're saying it'd be
So if it were
obsolete
digital,
because yeah.
If it were digital, the seats would either be there or they wouldn't. And if they weren't there, then there's nothing for you to game.
Yeah, I got you.
Right? Like
you would just go straight directly to your seat.
exactly. Yeah.
It'd be nice you wouldn't have to wait in line. It would just like you could just get an alert on your phone, like your seat's ready. Come to this table in this seat.
If
I
you
mean, that's
don't,
what
you-
EPT
If you
does.
don't,
Yeah,
your
yeah.
registration gets
Right.
void.
Right. Yeah.
Do you get a refund?
What do you mean?
Like if you don't show up?
No, you're just forced in.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Right. Once you take the blinds, you have to play. You're just blinding off now, and there's like the stack has been compromised. There's no way you can exit the tournament, in my opinion.
Becker played the Gladiator and busted already. Now he's going to the win.
Wait,
Why,
you
he's
fired-
not firing again?
You can fire 3 times, I think.
I don't know if he's fired or not, but he's over
Bro's
it.
not.
He's over it.
He's not.
Oh shit! Look at the graphic.
Let's go.
Oh, okay.
I maxed
That's like
at 5K and lost.
That's
so.
a 10x of.
Zachy was like beside himself that Becker didn't fire 2 in the 5K. He's like, what the fuck is this kid doing?
I love Zachy.
I'm like, nah. He goes. I swear to God, if Landon would have won that 6 max, this kid would have been fucking buried.
That's right.
I'm like, well, I'll tell you what. If he had won the 6 max, he would have had a second bullet in the 5K.
Yeah.
For sure.
Zachy is like
He's trying to keep it tight enough where like he can win this bet by winning a fucking win daily.
I know Zachy's from Tampa, but I don't feel like he's like from Tampa.
Right.
Like he's just complete East Coast, Northeast.
100%.
Like
He sounds nothing like Nicky Palma, but like I get like little
he
Nicky
sounds like he's
Palma
from New York.
undertones
That's it. He
whenever
just sounds like he's
I
from
mimic him.
New York, New Jersey, like that area.
Could you imagine if it's so close and it comes down to the end and the last thing to register is the win daily?
The win
And
flag.
he buys, and Becker has to win the thing to win the
Right.
bet.
I'm telling you, man. I
There'd
think
be like crowds of people for this win daily.
I think that's their plan right now.
Oh,
Like they're
man.
not firing multiple bullets into the high buy-in stuff. Like they just want to keep the gap close enough where win daily will set the.
I mean, it's
the
not
winner or
a
loser.
bad strategy.
Of course, it's a bad strategy. It's not a bad strategy down the stretch. But like you're a poker player, you're a tournament player. You want to fire max in things that you have reasonable ROI.
I want to fire Max in the things he has the max ROI in.
No, that's not how making money works.
Because if he's in 100% in a $20 tournament versus
Correct.
a 5% in a $2,000 tournament.
Thank
Well, you can only
Landon.
play so many things, right? So you want to
Right.
play,
So how many
right.
$20 tournaments are you going to waste your time
I'm
on?
just saying you can only play so many things. Maybe you should play whatever your highest ROI is.
Okay, so you're going to play all $20 tournaments with 100% ROI.
Okay, why do we always have to take it to the fucking extreme?
Because that's the easiest way to break an argument.
But no, it's not.
But it
Because
is.
like, okay, yes, $20 tournaments. But what about $1,000 tournaments?
Well, he's playing $400 tournaments sometimes and $300 tournaments sometimes.
Right. The reason to take it to the extreme is
Dragon's not happy.
because how big does the gap in ROI have to be
he's so
in order
angry.
to play that much smaller?
Maybe the gap is much bigger in maybe he's making more money in a 1K than a 5K.
Well, what you're saying is what I'm also speculating is that they don't believe he's winning in the 5K.
Well, maybe he's not. So if he's not winning the 5K and he's winning in
Matt
the
goes,
1K,
"Ooh."
then he shouldn't play a bunch of 5Ks. He should play a bunch of 1Ks.
Preach,
And that's what I'm saying.
Tell us more.
Right? That's all I'm saying.
All I'm saying is they said Landon's washed and the Bex is gonna fucking mash him.
Well, we
so,
all know that's not true.
so
No,
you
we
know,
don't.
Look
where's
at
that
this man.
second
He's
bullet?
a fucking machine.
No, he's not. 2 can do it.
He's a machine. He's like if you like took a knife and just like the Terminator, where
You
like
would
they
see
tear
blood.
The,
You would see blood.
You tear his skin up. It's just like
oil.
Don't experience-
It's just
no-
this metal.
No. It's just
hand.
oil.
No,
Don't
it's
walk
not.
up to Landon trying to expect.
No,
like,
don't stab me, please.
No, do not do that.
No stab. No stab.
We have
No
a little
stab
bit of an
clause.
update at WSOP. New bracelet winner in the event that Landon was supposed to ship.
Oh.
Simon Spazoff.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What a
That's
fucking
the
name,
best
man.
last
Okay,
name
now
ever.
tell us what his real last name
Shout out
is.
Spazoff. No, it's literally Spazoff. I mean, it's Bulgarian, so there's a good chance that Hunt's at home just like malding right now.
Yeah.
It's Spazoff.
Doesn't matter.
Spazoff.
You nailed it.
Yeah, but it's Spazoff as far as I'm concerned.
It's like his last name is the same as like Ignacio Marone. where it's like
Moron?
moron.
Right, that's just
moron?
always
Yeah.
moron.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just
I'm sorry, sir, but it's spelled moron.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pronounce it moron.
Moron calls off for his tournament life.
So good.
Moron doubles with queens.
I'm pretty sure they had a Poker News article the other day
it's so
that
good.
was titled "Moron Nuts on Someone."
Right. Moron bluff 6 high. The show goes on.
Simon wins the 1506 max for 439,000. Truthfully, I did not recognize anybody at the final table. John Henry Gordon got second.
Patrick Trunk?
Patrick got 16th.
Yeah. Joseph Pacheco from Brazil got 7th.
Jeremy got 12th.
Oh,
Jeremy
that could have been
Joseph?
you, buddy.
Yeah, could
Getting
have
Could have
12th?
been you. Yeah. 12th would have been fucking nice.
Yeah, I know.
12th would have
It's
been
a
like
double payday.
It wouldn't have been that much. It would
What's
have
12?
been
Like 50K?
no.
No, like 30 or something.
7th was 62.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
Their
not
pay
enough.
jump. Honestly, yeah, it's an interesting like structure this year where the min cash is like double, but when you get down to it, like it's like no pay jumps, no pay jumps, no pay jumps, and like 30 left, you start getting the bigger
Yeah,
ones.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Um,
I think.
yeah, it just makes it more so like you're playing Chippy V, and then you get to the bubble, and then you have to play really tight because you need a min cash, and then you're
Yeah.
kind of playing Chippy V again
But
because you're so far away.
It was always like that. It's just more extreme now.
It's much more extreme where like there's no bigger
Yeah.
like pay jumps and stuff
Right.
in the middle.
The risk premiums changed and then boom.
I
Like it-
forgot the part where you're supposed to try to main cash.
Yeah, you did. You need the min cash. I told you this.
2x, baby.
I told you this on the bubble. I said,
See,
remember?
you see he's yelling again.
No, I'm not yelling. I explicitly stated this,
He's yelling.
and you didn't listen to me.
Ace 5, pure VPIP.
No.
Pure yell.
Pure VPIP.
Pure
No.
scream.
And the only reason
Scream.
it's raising instead of jamming is because it's off of 20 in this sim instead of 15.
Right. So off 20, you can 3-bet fold.
Right.
You like 3-bet folding. Your hands.
But I didn't have 20.
Your hand's almost good.
But bro, I didn't have
Like-
20. I had 15.
You can still 3-bet. You probably 3-bet aces.
No, when I face a 3.5x.
Now you face a 3.
Should have stole the
That's
blinds
why you
a couple
fold,
times.
and then you just have it.
Yeet, yeet.
You just throw out the 3 big blinds, bro.
The 10K dealer's choice played down to the final 3 yesterday. It was star-studded with 12 left, but unfortunately, Ivy finished 11th. D-Negs finished 10th. Ben Lamb finished 4th. There are 3 remaining. Those final 3 are Robert Mizraki chip leading, Michael Martinelli is second in chip, and someone that I have to assume is on Lady Gaga's fantasy team because I'm not going to pronounce this one right.
Ryutaro
Suzuki is third in chips.
Let's go, Team Lady Gaga.
I don't know this for sure. I just know he drafted an all Asian team. So anytime someone from Asia makes a run, I assume Team Lady Gaga is doing good.
What a guy.
Shout out to Team Lady Gaga
And deep.
and Deep. Yeah, and Deep, the honorary captain of Team Lady Gaga. Incredible. All right, let's get to me being in the muck to wrap this.
I'm leaving.
Okay, this hand is where things all went wrong for me. I built up a stack to about 40 big blinds after running that bluff against Kitty. I think we were like 30 out of the money here, roughly 40 effective. Folds to me in the hijack. I open ace queen off. It's going to fold around to the big blind, which is Ian Matakis, last year's player of the year. I think, was it just for the no limit side? I think so. Yeah, the no limit hold'em player of the year last year, right?
For Matakis, so he
Yeah.
won the whole
No,
thing.
He
he
did
won
win the whole thing?
overall, yeah.
Oh, okay,
He started
okay.
playing mixed games and stuff.
He won the whole thing
right. That's
because
right. He played a bunch
He
of
was
PLO.
asking for coaching and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
He won like online stuff. and
That's right.
it-
That's why they changed the point system this year.
They got mad.
They got mad.
They got
No.
mad that a no limit guy won.
But yeah, no, he was mashing everything last year. So he defends the big, and we see a flop of Queen of Diamonds, 8 of Hearts, 6 of Clubs. Checks to me. This is a board texture where we're going to size up in general anyway. So I just go 3E, which is about 66% pot. He's going to follow through with a call. Turn, Badoogie 8. He now leads for about 30% pot. And I know for chips my hand raises, but again, this is where I just don't know enough about ICM. Feels dicey to stack off 40 here, even though I have a pretty strong hand. And I don't really want to just funnel him to an 8. So I leaned call. I think I would raise more with like aces and kings because I can just get value. Like he's just flatting ace queen pure this close to the money, I think. As well as like king queen. So like he'll be leading a lot of queen X here on the turn. And I could just straight get value for my overpairs. With ace queen, it felt a little bit more dicey. I'd just play call. River probably the worst card in the deck. I actually don't know if there is a worse one. I was wondering to myself if like a 10 or a jack is worse. I just don't. I don't think that it is. Right? Like I just think a 9 has to be the absolute worst card in the deck. Maybe a 7. It's possible a 7 is equally as bad.
Yeah, 7's pretty bad.
5-4 would get there. 9-10 would get there.
5-4 folds
Jack
flop.
10.
Yeah, you're right. 5 does it with a gutty?
Yes, man, you're close to the money.
Yeah, that's probably
Forgot
true.
about that.
Five,
You
well,
bet big. You bet big on flop. You want
yeah, but
66.
5-4 with the back door.
You have to fold.
All right, we'll find out.
Not chippy V.
Okay, we'll find out. Okay, so 9 is the worst card in the deck. We agree.
Stop yelling at him, Landon.
Yeah, stop fucking yelling.
What the fuck, man?
Christ.
Trying to do a hand
He
history.
keeps yapping.
9 is probably the worst card in the deck for me. He leads for 66% pot. And I tanked for a long time and basically just decided I would rather have a 10 in this spot. Jack 10 gets there, 10-7 gets there, 7-5 gets there. I think 7-5 is the like, even though it's the open ender, I think it's the like least one that we care about blocking. So I don't really think I want to have a 7 in spite of the fact that it blocks 2 straights. I think 7x will be some of his bluff range. I think would rather have a 10 and block hands like Jack 10, 10-7, 10-8. So I felt like Queen 10 would make for a more appropriate call, even though I'm sure it probably mixes too. And I know that this hand probably doesn't even pure call for chips, although if I'm playing cash, like you just get my money here. I just don't see a world where...
If you play this in like a 200 big blind pot at Bobby's, you never fold the hand.
No, and I'd probably raise turn a fair amount too.
But if you play a 40 big blind pot in the 5K...
That's why I struggle so much, man. Like, it's so hard. Like, I don't get to do anything that I've programmed my intuition to do. You know,
Like
it's
rocket chips in the
like
middle?
the 8 comes off, and I just like think to myself, like, okay, I'm facing lead here almost always. Like, let's go. Let's figure out what we're supposed to do versus lead. And, you know, I know that I'm raising here for value some of the time, but with ICM, I guess I can't. So I'm going to go. The problem is I'm just going to I'm going to keep ping-ponging back and forth between being way too aggressive and way too passive when ICM is present. I'm never going to hit the fucking sweet spot. I'm just going to be like way too conservative with hands that could potentially just funnel money into the middle. And I'm going to be way too aggressive with hands like ace-5 off when somebody custom sizes.
Yeah. Valid.
But here we are.
I mean, I think there's a decent case for raise on the turn, even with ICM, because if he has an 8, you get stacked anyways. Theoretically.
Well, it
Supposed to.
depends on if you call or fold river.
Sure. I just mean in the sense of like the sizing scheme is going to be like lead and then probably play polar on the end and play more jam.
Yeah.
With ICM.
I thought river would only be blocker jam also.
Do you cover him?
No.
No, he covers.
Yeah, then he's
slightly,
probably going to jam more on you because you're more at risk, even though you guys are close.
Yeah, I thought that too.
I mean, and the sim in this spot, if you're looking at a bubble thing, you probably have to run it yourself, but we can get a good idea.
Okay, well, we have bubble ranges at least, so we can at least try to go from there. Yeah, I thought river would only be like blocker jam also. I'm really in the muck, I guess, about river because my thoughts were if I didn't raise kings or aces on turn, then they would make for better calls because I just beat value. Like he just has ace queen in full, and that's kind of a nice hand to beat. I wasn't really that confident that king queen would take this line. Like the turn lead's fine, but river feels really greedy.
Is it? You have queen 10, queen jack, queen 7 suited.
I mean, you're right that like I would feel better about calling with queen 10. I think queen jack and ace queen to me feel pretty comparable.
Queen jack's a good call.
I
You
guess.
block jack 10, he's going to have jack 10 off that calls the gutter. Cause it's
Sure, it blocks things, but like again, like I felt like a 10 was the most important blocker if we're worried about blockers.
more
Even
so
like
than
pocket
that.
10s feels somewhat better.
You're
than-
making more cases for king queen to value bet.
Yeah, I suppose so. Well, I'm not saying like these hands with pure call. I mean, they're all going to be mixing at some frequency. But like, yeah, if king queen can get ace queen to fold and 10's to call, that's pretty fucking nice.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a thing. Maybe it's just like I don't know, man. It just feels like a lot of chips.
We have a really good hand.
We do have a really good
It
hand.
feels like a lot of chips 40 effective to you. It's just very ironic where you play 5,000 big blind deep cash games.
I'm not an idiot. I know how thresholds change. Like 75%
Nobody called
pot
you an
whenever
idiot.
you have 1.5
Who called you an
SPR.
Very
idiot?
defensive over there.
Well, I'm just saying, like
You're very smart.
It's because Landon
very
keeps yelling at him, man.
betting 3/4 pot or 2/3 pot, whatever it was, whenever you're only 1.5 SPR effective is a big fucking bet.
It is a big bet.
So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty in the muck about the river. I think turn, I feel comfortable. Like I feel good about the flop. I feel like my sizing is good. I feel like turn is fine. Though maybe I should be playing more raise versus small. Then maybe I would otherwise be comfortable. The issue is that like I don't know that I would be able to balance bluffs all that well. Like it's pretty easy to intuitively pull from like some of the 7x, some of the 10x type stuff. But I'm not so sure that I start finding like ace wheels
On turn
facing block.
Yeah. I mean, you're just going to mirror your value range with the bluffs, so the closest you can have.
I think you also just like really want to unblock bet folds.
Yeah, so the 3 is nice. 'Cause
Yeah.
how do they have a 3? You bet big on the flop.
Yeah.
I wish Berkey plays more tournaments so we get more in the mucks like this one.
Okay, fuck off. Let's get to the sim and see what it has to say about this line in general. So you can see at ICM, he's defending incredibly wide. So he's defending about 66% of range. And part of this is predicated off the fact that he just doesn't 3-bet. His 3-bets are literally ace, king, aces, and kings.
Ace king sometimes.
Ace, king suited always. Ace, king sometimes.
Very polar.
And then like
7-6 suited.
all these tiny little ones that like there's slivers of. He just has slivers of these 3-bets. But like I think 4-3 off probably just mostly folds or calls a sliver, but everything else like slivers of 3-bets. So yeah, he's really wide, and we have a really good hand. So 3E was the correct choice. 65% pot is what the sim is going to go for here, and we get to do it with a pretty aggressive range. You can see we do have 10s and jacks, so it's not really worried about just having the overcard fall. You can see we have a lot of 8x, ace 8, king 8, queen 8. To be fair, I don't even know if I would be opening all this.
I think you would.
I don't think so with Rast on my left. Not from the hijack. Queen 8 suited, I probably would fold, and it opens pure. I'm almost positive I would fold queen 8 and queen 7.
I would open queen.
Fuck, you would.
Suited 8s.
I would have no problem finding the 10-7, but the queen 8, I feel like...
What?
10-7's nice. 10-7's sexy, man. The 8...
Brother.
The 9-8-6 board, oh, poker hard.
Relax,
Jesus,
man.
Love the 9-8-6.
Chill,
You want
Grandpa.
blocking-
Chill, Grandpa.
Love the
You want
9-8-6.
blocking power, man. You have 10 and a 7. You have no blocks.
All right, so we can see he plays a little bit of raise here, and this is mainly... Oh, this is a big thing I didn't look at. He exits completely with ace-queen on flop.
Top of range, yeah.
Yeah.
King queen even, good hand.
Right, so like... Okay, so we're back to the thing that... So now we have two issues with my river thought process. One, he doesn't have ace, king, or king, queen ever.
No.
So now having kings and aces doesn't necessarily
matter.
make for a better call.
Right.
But two, blocking the queen also doesn't really matter all that much, except for the fact that he has pocket queens in full.
Right.
So I guess there's like a little bit of an element to it. All
Block
right.
king queen still, which is a good hand.
He barely has... Oh, I guess he has king, queen off.
King
Yeah.
queen suited if he's a backdoor he raises, right?
Yeah, pure.
Yeah, nice.
King, queen of hearts the only call.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, turn 8 of hearts. So I reran this for the sides that he chose.
Yeah, he has polar lead instead of...
but it's actually 2E. So what you'll see here, this is what his strategy is supposed to look like.
Yeah, supposed to be polar lead.
Right.
Just ravage you with an 8.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be a lot more polar. You can see all of his 8X leading at a high frequency. And when he chooses the 2E sides, you can see 6X just not there. Which we haven't revealed what his hand is yet, but we will tell you. Also,
He told you what his hand was,
Yeah.
so he showed it?
he tweeted it.
Yeah.
Legend.
Also, though, important to note, like, now the queen blocker doesn't really matter that much because queens don't lead. Too good. Need
Yeah.
check raise.
Check raise, just check call.
Yeah, maybe check call.
Check raise.
Yeah,
Jesus.
that's fair. Well, I guess it depends on my sizing, too.
I mean,
get-
if you pick the good one.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to go pretty
You
big.
pick the good one.
You're
You're not betting very often, right? You're
right.
betting queen plus, so you're going to go big or check?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I would just continue with the 2E line, I
Yeah,
think.
so then when you have queens, you want to raise.
So, yeah, pretty correct that he is pulling from a lot of the open enders. So 7-5 is in there. You can see that, like, yeah, like, so like the jack. Well, okay.
Yeah,
So
that's
this
honestly
is for the big
surprising to
size.
me.
But-
That's surprising to me that the jack tens don't
Right.
actually go for lead because it seems like a nice one, but it's because you want to unblock jacks and tens that you fold.
Interesting. 'Cause
Ready? Click the button.
do you think I fold versus just this bet?
Yes.
Yeah, you're probably right. I think you're probably right. Nope.
Fuck me.
Pure call.
What the hell? Really? Wow. What are we folding?
That kind of makes sense to me because you just have
Why?
like clean outs.
But like, why? Like, you don't beat value, right? And you block bluffs.
Bro, you're ripping aces.
Yeah, because you beat a queen.
There isn't much queens.
There's some queens.
Just king queen.
There's enough queen.
It's just king queen.
Yeah, I know.
And it's not much.
Nonsense. Wow,
not
what a fold of
much.
jacks for sure. Seems like
I
a
mean,
really
the
bad
thing
hand to
is,
call.
like, this is obviously for chips too, right? So, like, it's difficult to know
yeah, it's
how
not
much more
ICM.
passively it's going to play at ICM.
I want to look at it later.
Which makes me think, maybe his
Feels like an
his
indifferent
sizing is
spot.
probably a lot better.
Feels like an indifferent spot to me, but I'll look later.
Yeah. His sizing probably becomes a lot better. Oh, sorry, it was actually 30. Probably becomes a lot better given the ICM implications because you don't necessarily need to try to fold a tight range here on the turn.
Well,
and
the
you
issue
can just go
is-
for it on the river.
The issue is when you bet, you mix bets and checks on flop. So when you bet, your range is going to be pretty strong.
True.
So when you go small, it's not really doing much for
Yeah,
his range.
it's just setting you up for like big river bluffs, I guess, but you need the board texture to change.
yeah.
Right, like staying static isn't going to do much. Like basically, I said it whenever I was in the tank. I was like, I think I call on every other river. I think it's just like pure call on literally every other river. So like versus B30, I imagine we're going to raise more with ace queen. Yeah, about half the time, give or take. Kings and aces near pure, no shock there. No other queen X really raises, just tiny slivers of king queen, but not really. 8x mostly pure raising with the exception of the full houses. All the full houses trap. Jacks and 10s pure calls.
The sevens and the fives are like the king seven, king fives, but they make no sense to me because like you want them to be bluffing, right? You want them to have like
Yeah.
7-5. So why do you want a 7?
Right.
Tough game.
Yeah.
Tough game.
Yeah. I imagine that you just. Well, let's see what happens when we raise. What starts folding that contains 7x?
Seven,
So like queen 7.
Mm-hmm.
Queen 7 was like a lead fold.
Just full top pair. That's strong.
Yeah. Yeah, but like everything else that's folding is pretty weak. Right?
Yeah,
Like jacks
no-
and 10s, whatever.
Nine,
But queen 7
7.
off, queen 7 suited. Those are pretty nice ones
But
to
like
get
they're
to
still
fold.
folding 7. So why do you want to use king 7? You can just use like king 5 because it's like your worst king.
Well, it does use king
It
5
does use
too.
king 5. But like I would use
Yeah.
king 5 pure and not king 7.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable adaptation for what it's worth. Like when you're talking about practicality,
Yeah.
it's just more practical.
Probably just blocker stuff where it's like, oh, if they know
Yeah.
you always use king 5, then the 7 becomes
Exactly.
better.
Yeah. Okay, so when we do face this bet, you can see that we do play pretty aggressively. We get to raise a fair amount here for 2e.
Like king 4 is folding. It's a nice one.
I didn't find it with the ace queen here, and I'm going to pay for it. So the river is the offsuit. Not well. Actually, I just want to see what a deuce does.
I mean, he should be all in, right?
I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he plays a lot more jams on the
Got
bricks.
one back.
Okay, so that makes
There
sense.
you go.
Needed one.
And I imagine we just like nearly pure call. Yeah, ace queen almost pure calls. Kings and aces obviously pure call.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now let's go to what actually. So that makes me feel good that like on a brick, I just win.
Yeah.
Like I'm just stacking here,
Yeah.
and I know that.
You just happen to get the fucking 9.
So now the 9 rolls off, which is not a brick.
Womp womp.
Let's see. So I would have thought he would have played block or all in, but that's not the case. The straights filling actually slow him down, and his sizing's really good. He's capped at like 66%. It's the only size chosen. I gave him a 2 sizing strat. Just doesn't want to use anything else.
It's because you have Jack 10 and he doesn't very often, right?
No, he still has it because for the smaller size, he gets to lead all those linear hands.
Yeah.
He has the Jack 10 off, Jack 10 suited. He has 7-5. He has 10-7. No, he doesn't have 10-7. So that's interesting to me that 10-7 just plays pure check on turn.
Mm-hmm.
I guess removal, right? Like when you have 10-7, I don't have 10s as often, right?
I mean, I don't know how much that matters. Yeah, it's weird. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know either. Weird solver stuff taking place here. But anyway, his size is very good. I imagine this is going to make me a lot more indifferent. Let's see if I'm correct as far as like what ace queen does compared to like queen 10. I guess having a 10's not going to be that
Mixes.
important any longer because he doesn't lead 10-7.
What a stupid game. You get to jam jacks and 10s, but you get to like mix full with ace queen.
Right.
You're suit dependent. You're suit
Yeah.
dependent based off offlead.
So king queen's pure. Ace queen folds a lot. Queen jack calls a lot.
Does he have a king queen? Does he have a king in his line? Like, or no, on the river?
Has to, right?
Like, you know, he doesn't bet king queen for value.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
That's why I said like ace queen didn't feel that important to me.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't really bet any queen X. It's just queen 9 for 2 pair.
You just don't beat value.
Right. Yeah.
He just defends his range with like the king queen. So
Yeah.
if he checks,
And to be fair, like I thought he would retain ace queen through this line, which it looks like it pure exits on the flop.
Checker
But
swap.
maybe with ICM it doesn't. I still think it would though.
probably
It's
would.
just top of range,
hand
right?
yeah, hand too good.
Hand's way too good.
Well, what would you have done if he checked here
Um,
before
on
looking?
the
no
9
looking?
exactly, I think I checked down.
Really? But like he bets all his good hands.
I know,
I would bet.
but I wouldn't have. This isn't intuitive to me.
Like if he's betting all his good hands on the river because he's too scared of you checking back, he has to play leads. So when he has leads and checks, you now have a value hand because he plays leads and checks.
No, I understand how it works.
Right.
I just don't think I would have intuitively found that. If I had, it's funny because the way I was thinking was strictly around ace queen. So if he had played check on the river and I had aces or kings, I would have bet. Right, but like ace queen just felt like it was one
Blocking
notch.
too much.
Yeah, one notch of value too low.
And this is why you want to play cash games and not play 40 effective
yes, because it's
poker.
so much. I'm right. Ace queen checks.
It mixes.
Yeah. Go ahead, cling to that win. It bets like 10% of the time.
I would still bet. I mean, what's the size choosing pot?
66.
66, yeah.
Where kings and aces just go for it.
Yeah, you unblock the queen.
Yeah.
It's like
It
feels
doesn't
too
like
thin.
the thing is like my thought process is correct because it doesn't like the 2/3 sizing because you reopen the action with too weak of a range.
It's incongruent.
Right? So if you just take away 2/3 and you only play jam or check,
It's gonna check now.
it's gonna check pure.
Sure.
Right?
I mean, like the back and forth here, like when you cue practicality, is like people are probably gonna value bet their 8x on the river and not play checks and protect their range as much.
I agree.
Right? So
But,
then
but
ace
he'll
queen
have houses.
some, right? He's gonna check sometimes.
Yeah.
But then he'll
Yeah.
have some
He'll
king
like
queen,
9-8.
queen jack. It just
Yeah,
depends
yeah.
how much he's leading the turn. Because if he's range leading the turn, you might get the value bet the river. Because his was 75-25
Right.
for your assault.
Right. You also have to understand like what's calling, right? So like king queen only calls half the time. Queen 9 beats you in and you just lose.
If it doesn't value bet itself.
Yeah, but it's there. You know, and he also has queen 9 off, which is brutal. He mixes with the other queens, but like I don't think they're going to be very happy.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much they're taking this
This
line.
was how far off of the money was this?
30. So like 18% of the field left, 15
Yeah.
pay.
I'm gonna look it up.
Getting there.
So anyway,
You did fine.
what I realized after so the fold is fine, but it's probably less fine given what he actually had. Which is definitely an overbluff. So I thought he'd be bluffing from his 6x and 9x region, which is somewhat true. Wait, what's going on here?
You're right. You're in the right load. No, 6-5 suited.
Okay, there we go. So I thought that he'd be bluffing from like his 6x and 9x region, and that's somewhat true, but it's the weakest ones that have blockers. So like Jack 6 bluffs, a little bit of 10-6. Let's see the 9x region. Do we see much bluffing coming out of here? No. 9-8. Oh, that's full house. Yeah, so I was wrong about the 9x region. That's not really finding the bluffs. It looks like it's like I guess like the 7-6s.
It's like 6 low.
Yeah. It's more of like the hands that wrap around the 7-5. So ironically, having a 7 here is much better than having a 10. In my head, it was the inverse because, you know, I just thought he would have more like Jack 10, 10-7 than 7-5, 10-7.
It just depends, right? Because like in this range, 5-4 suited exists. So in practice, it probably folds because of the money. It doesn't actually exist. It exists in the Chippy V sim.
Okay.
It's a scam sim.
You just gaslight Berkey all day long. You yell
motherfucker,
at
bro.
him, like you
Because
put him through
if it's
torture.
mixing-
You know what? Thank you,
just-
Conrad.
And you just wave around that wand like you're fucking sitting on your throne.
Like
and
he's
shit.
the wizard.
Like
Yeah.
you're
Throne
the
of
wizard and
lies.
shit.
Throne of lies. But like if it's mixing in that sim, close to the money, it's gonna fold
I
because
agree.
chips are worth more.
I'm not pushing back.
I know.
Again, like I understand this is a Chippy V sim and like it's gonna look drastically different at ICM.
Apparently,
but
ICM
I think
sims
that,
are coming soon.
Woof. I think that the ICM sims are only going to push it further, though, right? Like, it's only going to make it more extreme where ace queen folds more often. But anyway, so I was a little bit wrong where he's pulling his bluffs from, and it looks like ace 6 is actually just a drastic overbluff. He had ace 6 of spades,
He ravaged you.
which
Got your ass.
turn is fine. River does seem like an overbluff. Not really where he wants to pull from. But But
He says when you
doesn't
fold ace
change.
queen.
I mean, it doesn't change anything on my end, whether he's over bluffing by 1 pip or not.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna like if
We
I
have
lock,
1 pip.
Yeah, there's one pip.
if we lock a6, let's see. Just really quickly, let's give him like half of these 6x's because he feels like they're bottom. Sure, 10-6. Okay, let's no
Lock
block
it.
these and see if like ace queen. And again, like these are for chips, so
Yeah,
it's like,
I mean, it's just going to shift it over a little bit. I
a
would
little
think,
bit,
right?
a little bit, but it may just like be enough to make it pure. Let's find out.
I don't think so.
No, didn't change at all. Actually went down. It literally went down. It just made king queen like never fold.
Yeah.
Where king queen off was folding like a little bit more often before.
He bluffs more, so you have to fold
It's
more
so
now.
weird. Well, I think it's now because like these hands block a6.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
This hand blocks king 6, and these are the ones that like you're
Yep,
trying to target.
Right, exactly. So it's like now you block his bluffs, and now it's just like.
Yeah. Yeah, so it goes in the other. All right. So I mean, I feel okay about it. Sucks that I got shown a bluff in a spot where like I'm not a folder. Like,
Yeah.
Imagine
I know,
just having
right.
2 5s and just ripping
Right.
it, and he's
When you bluff the unbluffable, it's just like it feels bad.
what a game.
it's
What
so
a
good.
It's all right, man. What are you gonna do today? Play cash?
Hey, I got it right, you fuck.
You did fine.
Reject
Why
me,
is
daddy.
Put it back. No,
All
no, no,
these
no.
people just out on the podcast gaslighting Berkey day in and day
Put it
out.
back. No, he needs the right.
Can't believe
Give him the
it,
right
man. It's
graphic.
crazy.
Right.
Give him the right graphic.
What do I do this for?
Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
Thank you,
All
Daddy.
All is well.
Yeah.
Thank you,
I
Daddy.
was still
Right.
salty about my 7-year faux pas.
A couple
Oh,
of years.
man. All right, let's get out of here. We got to get Lamanna down to the monster stack.
I
We're
got
going to
to.
have Conrad on the beat tomorrow. So
Yes.
if you guys are playing the Gladiator 1B tomorrow, we're going to have Conrad in the field. He's going to be out in the lines, perusing the early entries. What time does this thing start? 10?
10.
Perfect. Conrad will be there from 10:30 to 11:45-ish.
Maybe if
We're
I
just-
bust, I'll just go on time and he can come interview me.
Landon, I need a room key.
We're just gonna check in with him from time to time. You know, we're gonna see how everybody's doing in the lines with their seat draws, if there are enough people at their table where they're willing to play or not. Maybe we'll run in. Hey, maybe we'll find Kessler.
We'll get him on the pod.
Oh,
He's been waiting for this
finally.
moment.
Not on the pod, but you know, on
Well,
the
he'll
pod.
be
On
on
the
the
pod.
pod.
He'll
but
be on the
not-
pod with you. You'll be
Yes.
interviewing him.
Yes.
Wow. A Kessler and Connie interview.
It's possible. Anything is
Wow.
A
possible.
Kessler encounter.
Anything is possible if
Connie
you
and
truly
Kessler.
believe.
You
All
guys
right,
can be
we'll
at the
be
same
back
table.
tomorrow, 10:30 a.m., where I'll be gaslit to the ends of the earth by one Poo Dog Melissa. Stay tuned. We'll see you guys all then.
Later,
Peace.
squad.
Peace.